to the computer. Okay, so the November live webinar, and today we're going to go through three things. We're going to go briefly through the upgrades for the ASBs, purely because all of the current users got the upgrades and got the PDF. I just want to go through them very briefly. Then I'm going to introduce to you the new VWAP Predator ASB, which will be released in the new year. Okay, it is working fine. I'm going to show you some examples of that. Been heavily testing that for quite some time now. I'm very, very happy with what's going off there. And then I'm going to introduce you to the xBrat Academy. So over the last few years, I've had lots of apprentices, and the cost for that apprenticeship is high. It's $30,000, but it's me for 40 weeks training you how to trade properly, and all the software and everything like that's included. So what we've done is got all of those recordings now, all of those recorded LMS sessions, learning management systems sessions, and all of the live sessions that I've done every other week for 40 weeks for 3 or 4 cohorts. And we've put all of those into modular sessions, made it more affordable for people. So I'm going to introduce that later as well. So let's go through these upgrades for orders and executions first for the ASB. So automated strategy builders, a lot of people are starting to use them with very fast time frames. And the issue was we always want to build in protection to protect the users. So we always suggest we have a stop market order. So a stop market order, if we're going long, it's say you dictate it 1 or 2 ticks above the high of that particular signal candle. Now, on a very fast time frame, sometimes that moves beyond the order book, moves beyond your stop market order. So if you got a stop market order to buy at $100.02, and the order book, although the candle looks like it's moving through your order, the next order might be $100.04, okay? In which case, the stop market order cannot be filled to protect you, and that's how stop market orders work. So what we've done is we've invented something called the buffer. So the buffer allows the entry to be automatically converted to a market order if the current price is above, if we're going long, or below if we're going short. And we can change the number of ticks for that buffer. So for example, in this one I just spoke about there, $100.02 to go long with a stop market order, but actually the next fill from the broker was $100.04. That is within the 3 ticks for the buffer. It will seamlessly and very quickly change that order to a market order and take you in the trade. It will not do it the other way around. So if, for example, all of a sudden there is an order filled at $100 dead on and it's below that stop market order, it will not take that, okay? It's got to be in the direction of the trade. Also, we have some advanced parameters, and I'm not going to go into this in too much detail, but to make the buffer work properly, we had to put some more things that we would probably use on high frequency trading. So we have this max order error check frequency in seconds, max order submission rate period seconds, max order submission rate. It's all very, very complicated. But the idea with this advanced thing, as you get to use this more and more often, you can change those frequencies, and especially when you're using fast time frames. So now we would see we're getting a lot more of those trades. The win rate's higher. We're not missing as many trades. Okay, so that is that. Okay. If you've got any questions, you're a current ASB user, please, we're going to do some live sessions next week. I wanted to get this week out of the way with the elections, and tomorrow we've got interest rate decisions, and then I'm going to start trading again next week and also do some live sessions on Teams. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is introduce the VWAP Predator. So let's do that. So how this was born about was the VWAP Predator is a very good gauge of looking for that momentum building in a bullish or a bearish direction. And we need to take advantage of that momentum. So we've got lots of ASBs and indicators for different market conditions. So the range breakout, the roller coaster, the xBrat algo, we've got the slingshot. Okay, so all of those produce a signal and it can go long or short. Yeah, bear with me a second. But the idea is if that momentum keeps going, how can we add more contracts to that move? Because it's going. We want to get more people on that train. We're gonna make more money. And the VWAP Predator was purely designed to begin with as a scaling type strategy to add more contracts. And I've gone through a lot of videos for that. And if you're watching the recording for this webinar, we're going to put some links down to those scaling videos because it's very, very important. So what I've done is I've actually taken some of the things that I give examples to the developer for to show him the use of this particular, the VWAP Predator. So this is the same moment in time. So this chart behind me is a roller coaster, okay? So that's that blue square. That's that whole move on the VWAP Predator. But this thing just keeps going. So why can't we add some more contracts to that if momentum's going? So this is now, this little inset here is where we add more contracts. We add 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even later on 5 contracts here to this move. So what we're doing is we're increasing the profit for the one move. So the average price for this is important to understand that when you start to add other contracts, the average holding price moves up like you're buying stocks. So this is 24 ticks times 4 contracts, 96 ticks in total, times $12.50. This is copper, $1,200 profit. So instead of just doing one contract for that and making $400-500, you've been able to multiply and scale into that position. One more example is that, again, here we have a roller coaster, because the roller coaster is the one that we designed it around first, and then obviously now it can be used with by the side of Slingshot and all the other ASBs. The idea is it gives us that ability to scale into any move because the xBrat VWAP Predator has its own rules. So in this situation, we see here, so the blue box again is the roller coaster move. So we get a signal. You see down here, it's a market order. Okay, this is using that new technology, the buffer instead of a stock market. And then it goes. And then these 2 extra contracts being added in these 2 green boxes here, you can see on the right-hand side here are these 2 green boxes in that point there. So as the momentum goes on the separate chart, on the different strategy, on the same time frame, momentum is building. So we get a VWAP Predator signal. Second contract, third contract. Remember, the first contract's on there. So that's 3 contracts at 22 ticks, average holding price, 66 ticks in total, $825 instead of the 1 contract going in. So this is the idea of the VWAP Predator ASB, is that it helps us scale into those moves. Now, for me, it depends on contract size, and what we're going to do is I'm going to put some training together for the VWAP Predator ASB, because it's very important to understand, and I actually do mention that on some of the scaling videos, is you need size in your account to be able to deal with the maximum amount of contracts. So if you've got $100,000, for example, you can have 6, 7 contracts. If you've got $15,000, you can't add any more contracts. You don't have the margin. So it really depends on, what you trade and what your account size is going to be. And not every single move is going to have a VWAP Predator kick, a turbo boost, but there are a lot of them. So again, people sort of getting this in the future, and they've only got a $10,000 account size, you're going to be looking at micros. You're going to be adding micros. So you're going to be trading MHG, MCL, MGC, that sort of thing. You can start with 2 contracts, and every time you get a VWAP Predator, add 2 more contracts and scale that way. So let's just take that off. So before I take any questions on this, I just want to go through some examples here, which I think are relevant. And what I've done is chosen some random futures contracts that not everybody trades, but actually they're very tradable, just to show you the difference. So this is 6E. The reason why I've chose 6E is going to do some more work on 6E because one of my apprentices in Q4 has chosen his marriage, if you like, to the one instrument, because the apprentices always choose one instrument, and he's chosen 6E. So this will become more in my mind now, because I've got somebody for the next, I think he's on week 5 now, so for the next 35 weeks he will be doing all of his work, behavioral work, and work on all of the strategies with 6E. So the VWAP Predator looks like this normally, and this is what I've put it on. You can have that on the ASB, but we want to speed up these things. Okay, so we've added some more things to the VWAP Predator ASB back end to get rid of this, because drawing lines and shading in lines like this actually slows the computer down. Even to the point where we're having previous trades, the historical trades on, slows the computer down. Even if you've got supercomputer, super VPS, you're going to be, if you're running multiple ASBs on different time frames, different strategies, it's going to make the machine work. It's going to make the VPS work. So the idea is with this, if I now go to ZN, all the lines and all the shadings missing, we can actually check boxes to take that away to speed it up. So all we do is get the signal candles and obviously all of the work working. So this is ZN as an example, sort of last night and this morning with adding contracts. So this is on a Unirenco 2610. And you can see this move comes through here. We get a sell signal at this point, another sell signal at this point, and then a third one added at that point. When I look on the back end, just a quick preview of the back end, maximum position size is 3. Okay, that's why you don't see any more. Okay, now we've got the buffer in there as well, and some other things. But the main thing is we want to enter quantity 1 at a time, and the maximum size is 3. This is why you'll see 1, 2, 3 entries, and then we get taken out of the trailing stop. However, something else that we've built in now, and it's on all of the ASBs, this little thing up here, if we click on signals, these are the signals that weren't taken. Okay, so when we're back testing, and eventually next year when my new guy starts to build machine learning, we can actually look at these signals and say, okay, so my max is position size is 3. If I made that max position size 4, I would have made a lot more money. Obviously 5 is very close to where we come out, so that's no good. But we can toggle those off, so we can actually see, if you can look at those signal stripes that weren't taken, so that will help us when we're back testing a lot more. And that is available on all the other ASBs as well. So we can see, I mean, this is not even optimized, guys. I'm just literally chosen the time frame, okay, and this is something that we go through all the time. And then the strategy performance report, this is over 90 days on ZN. This is made, let's bring it over here. So $2,600, 76% win rate, and I've not even optimized it yet. One of the first things we do when we optimize is we look at the clusters of winners and losers. So I can see in where the purple is here is I'm not going to allow the ASB to trade. And when I optimize that, I'm just going to be looking for the clusters of winners. So basically sort of, this sort of time, so 3 a.m. is the European Open. We do get some movement and winners there. We've got a good cluster here at 9 a.m. and then obviously through to 10:30 a.m. That's a good cluster of winners. We get another one here, and then we get another one in the evening as well. So, we can actually optimize that. I'm going to go through it now, but that's one of the first things that we do. So that's that. So again, we can go to ZS now. So pop quiz, what's ZS? Anybody? Do I see? Yes, soya. Okay, thank you, Christine. Well done. So ZS is soya. So for me, soybean now is very tradable because it's used everywhere. Okay. One of my adult kids is vegan, for example. Another one is vegetarian. My wife's vegetarian, so those vegetarian substitutes. So if we go for a meal out and we have a vegan cottage pie, there's soya there's soya everywhere. Okay, in soy milk ingredients, it's just used a lot. It's probably used more than copper now. Okay. And then you're getting flooding, you're getting, tornadoes, you're getting bad weather in places Russia invading Ukraine, where a lot of soy is sort of grown. Those things can affect the price. So it's very tradable. And we can see here, again, this is just a prime example, a very recent example where we get a sell signal on the VWAP Predator at this point. That's the first entry here. We get another sell signal there, and this one's not taken, this one here. So if I just take that off a second, we can see we can see the difference between some of the signals not being taken. But again, that's about optimization. So when we look at this particular strategy, we can see max position size 3. The maximum bars from last entry is 20. So if I just go on there now, for example, and change that max position size to 6, let's double it. Okay. Let it do its thing. It'll take a while. Do not press a button while it's calculating. I just made a mistake there. I don't make many. NinjaTrader just has to do its calculations, and you got to let it do its thing. Okay, there we go. So now we can see on this long, let's take this long, for example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 contracts on this one. Okay. So this runs it round very well. Now, one of the things that we look at here is we use the VWAP extensions for those initial stops. We don't look at ticks, we don't look at pivots, and we adjust with the VWAP Predator with the VWAP extensions. So again, you don't see that when you switch it off, but here I just want to give you an example that when we took this short in, it went up to test this 30-minute zone. Can you see that okay? Shall I make it a little bigger? A bit difficult with all this shading. So at this point, The stop is at the VWAP, okay? This comes up to test the 30 minute, comes back down again, eventually comes back through the entry, and eventually it was a winner. Okay. But what happens is the trailing stop until we get the stop loss adjusts, which are the mechanical targets for adjusting the stop to break even and everything. They follow this. And then if it goes through the next line, they go to the next extension line. But when we switch all that off and make it really, really simple, you don't see any of that. It just does it automatically. But the idea with this is that we give these things plenty of room. Okay. And again, this is why when you're optimizing these, you're going to have those stop loss adjusts after 20 ticks, you make it break even and everything like that. Not forgetting, a trade like this is a massive trade and you do need margin in there. So for those funded traders with $100,000 account, your max sort of position size, I would say, would be around 5 or 6 contracts. But again, this doesn't, I mean, depending on the, here. So in this particular evening, we had a trade with 2 contracts. And then the next session, we had a trade with 2 contracts. And this one, we had 6, okay? It closes at the session close, so you can program that in to close at the session close. And then later that day, we had another trade with 1, 2, 3, 4 contracts closed at the session close. How tradable is Sawyer right now on the VWAP Predator? These are signals they weren't taken in. Okay, they didn't meet the criteria because it wasn't in the time of the day that we've done the optimization. There was another little one here, little winner, nothing to talk, to go home about, and then okay, we've had nothing today because we are out of this little grey box here. So ES, again, it works the same. But you've got to think something that's more volatile like ES, you've got to have a slower time frame than you would have on 6E, ZN, or ZS. So this Unirenko is 4-10-20. And again, it's the same thing. I don't trade ES, so I don't know if this is the right time frame or not. I'm going to be very honest. I stay clear of indexes. There's lots of other really good types of instruments there that are a lot, very tradable. If we go to, I'm not going to change instruments, it'll take too long to load up. But the idea is that we continue to multiply those and scale in with those. So I'm going to give you an example now. So I'm going live. So this is a small account that I started trading live in the middle of June. Started with $12,000 profit. Make sure the account number's not showing. Yeah, that's okay. So this is on the VPS. So that's made $3,700 profit since June on a $12,000 account. Percentage-wise, 30-odd% is pretty good. Not traded for a while. I've been away. My granddaughter was born in the UK, so I was away for a few weeks. Then obviously we come back and we've got a lot going off in the US and everything. So, a lot of testing done, but now this is my setup. It's made $1,200 today in sim. Okay. We've had a good trade on the VWAP Predator today on HG. So I'm only trading HG. And this time, this trade, I mean, I actually watched this trade. I made a video on it as well, which will be coming out in the next week or so. Because, this is a 610. Now, I've got a 55 tick Heiken-Ashi on the xBrat algo. Not a lot of people use that anyway. Roller coaster's been really good to me today. The max one consecutive loser, it actually was a break even, that trade. But that's classed as a loser because we had the winner. We had a couple of winners today, and then this one came out, and that's my one loser for the day, but I was net profit for that. But that again is a 135. So the idea is what I've done is put together range breakout strategy for HG. I've got my Slingshot, which is it's made $548 today on this sim, just testing these new strategies. But then when you start to accumulate and add those contracts, so the video that I took the trade live and recorded it live, actually took a second contract in on the VWAP Predator. Hence, now we had the move, but also around about the same time, we had the move on VWAP Predator, which added more contracts. So that one move, instead of being $548, because the VWAP Predator is now $1,222. Can you see how powerful the VWAP Predator ASB is going to be? Because you will literally, and this is my, so I trade, this is one account. This is a small account that I'm trading publicly, and if it's at $5,000 at the end of the year, I've all lost. Okay, it started at $12,000. A lot of you have been following me on Discord and everything like that. It started at $12,000. It's now at $15,696. It's sensible trading. It's using ASBs only. My other accounts I don't share, but this one I opened just to do this. So the idea is that I've got strategies for different market conditions. So I've got the roller coaster, I've got the slingshot, I've got the range breakout, I've got the xBrat algo, I've got the VWAP Predator. Now I've added to that. When I look at the strategy performance report here, hit max trading drawdown today, so it kept hold of the profit. That's $14,488 in 90 days. 74% win rate, average losing trade only $83, average winning trade $200. So this is how powerful that is. But I've got to be very careful how many contracts I add on this one. So I can only have a maximum position size of 2 on here, and that's pushing the margin. I mean, you wouldn't have got that margin this week because the election, but you'll get more margin next week. So, and then I've got the Zone Trader Pros. I've got 2 on there, one for reversals, and thank you very much, Christine, for helping with that, because now we have separate chart sets, one for reversals and one for continuations. So the idea is that I have got a suite of automated strategies running all day, switching themselves on and off, and all optimized to be able to give me continual trading opportunities, more trading opportunities, with the extra buffer technology that we've added to all the ASBs now. So we're actually not missing trades like we did before because the order book gapped up above our stock market. That's very, very important technology there with that high frequency trading advanced module. And then adding the VWAP Predator, which is the last one. It's the last one in the series now because I've got what I need. Each one of these is a separate strategy down below these tabs, and this is what I'm looking at. So you will look at the Slingshot. It's had a good day today. It's had a great week. When I look at the strategy performance, and I'll be getting these templates out this weekend to the users on Teams, it's 95% win rate, 10 grand in 90 days. And then you add the roller coaster. Okay, now roller coaster doesn't have the win rate like it does, but it has a lot more trades. So that's made 12,000 with 73% win rate. Again, what I'm trying to do is make sure that these max drawdowns go down. The xBrat algo is available. We just don't sell it. It's just the apprentices get it at the moment, Christine. But you can email and we'll sort that out. So the xBrat algo again is something that just the apprentices get at the moment, and obviously I'm using it. That it's on a massive profitable thing. So it might 3,000 compared to 10,000s and 12,000s. But it's a different market condition and allows me to get some more trades in as well. But then when you look at things like the VWAP Predator, $14,588. Okay. So you're talking 30, 40, 50 grand in 90 days. We've just got this new technology. We're coming in. It's really good. The Zone Trader Pro is good, but it doesn't trade as many, especially with copper just recently because it's been very flat. So when we look at this for reversals, it only has 5 trades in 90 days, $1,400, but you keep adding it. Okay. And that's the thing. When I look at look, this is why copper has been, it's been not been great to trade because we're just going all of this support and resistance right now. I'm hoping, well, I know next week we'll have more trades. Things will move out of there. They'll be broken and we'll start trading again. Strategy performance on this is only 3 trades, 100% win rate, but it's pretty good. But the main thing today was to introduce you to the VWAP Predator because this is the one that scales in more contracts. This is the one that is very, very important to finish off the set, if you like, to get to where we need to be able to add more contracts when we get that momentum move, because it is about behavior and momentum. Our ASBs currently are all different strategies, yeah, and that's good because when we get a slingshot like today, it's made for $140 on one contract. But when it has a move and that move has momentum, we've still got one contract. So we've got to be able to identify that momentum is building. The VWAP Predator gives the signals. We add more contracts. It makes sense, okay? So this is basically the final one. We have the full set now. And then, what I'm going to do is there's going to be some personal invites to all of the apprentices for the VWAP Predator to be able to get that for life for less than it actually costs to lease it for a year. And some of our super users will also get a personal invite from Gary to do the same for the VWAP Predator. And then we're going to launch it in January. There'll be a special lease launch deal for the 1st of January, so you can lease it for the whole of 2025. So it's going to come out in tranches. I've told Gary that we can have no more than 10 extra to our apprentices to get the VWAP Predator for life. So they will be personal invites to our super users, and they'll all come from Gary. And then we will be launching VWAP Predator in January. Whether we add it to the other ones, I don't know. I've got to talk to the developer. If we did, the cost would be more. It would be a premium package, and I think it would slow them down. I've been testing them on separate charts, so when they're working with Slingshot and that roller coaster on a different chart set and turbo boosting that particular move, it works very well. I think if we tried to load too much onto one ASB, it would just blow up. So we're not going to do that. If I just wanted to, where is it now? Give me a second. Lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, that was it. Let me just bring back. I want to get. I've just got to find the spreadsheet a second. Bear with me. I've got all these screens open and so many windows open. I'm blind. Here it is. Here it is. So what I've got now is I'm only sharing HG templates with our users. And there'll be templates for Slingshot, Range Breakout, Roller Coaster, xBrat Algo, Zone Trader Pro, and VWAP. Okay. So what we've got here is UK time, Dubai time, and EST time. And remember, we do everything by EST, but this is just to help me out when I know it's good for me to be near the computer. But you'll see VWAP here overlaps Slingshot, Roller Coaster, xBrat Algo a lot here, here, here. Okay, and then further on in the day, we don't have the VWAP Predator is, there we go, here. So we get a lot of overlaps. So when I optimize these strategies for copper, I have to think about when I'm awake, when I'm not awake, and when I'm optimizing VWAP now, I've got to find a good time frame that overlaps with Slingshot, Roller Coaster, xBrat Algo in particular. Yeah. Not really so much with the Zone Trader Pro or the Range Breakout. But with those, I'm really trying to, when I'm optimizing, keeping in mind that I want the overlaps, because if I get a trade on the Slingshot and it really just goes hell for leather, it's a type 3, it just keeps going like we had today, I get the bonus points from the VWAP Predator, which added 2 more contracts, really took to the max on the margin there. But that's the way I'm going to be looking at doing that. And I will share those templates at the weekend for next week. So that's it. Has anybody got any questions before we go to the small presentation for the Academy? Any questions on VWAP? Put it in the chat. The VWAP ASB. I'm really liking ZS at the moment, actually. There's some really great trades. When the momentum picks up, it's really good. Mega trades. No questions on the VWAP Predator ASB. Okay, let's go to the slideshow for the xBrat Academy. So I have 3 or 4 cohorts a year for the apprenticeship. It's $30,000 and it's not affordable for a lot of people. Okay. And I can understand that, but my time is valuable. Okay. I spend 40 weeks with these guys and they all overlap. Some days I'm doing live sessions, one after the other, with these guys, and they are learning right from the basics. I mean, I'll just tell you a little story. We had our week 5 live session with Q4 this week, and we were talking about economic, they've already done the module for economic data, correlations, things like that. And then it was me to do the live and setting them homework. And the one particular guy's doing 6E. And I did an example of how to look for those correlations. And we used copper as an example, as a correlation with 6E. And it was an epiphany moment for him. Copper leads 6E. So when we get the pivots and it turns around with copper, within 2 or 3 candles, 6E follows. So if it turns around, it goes down, 6E follows. And it is freaky, this stuff. It's called confluence, okay? So with these correlations and reactions to data and news, you will always find a leader. And that's just one little snippet of how important it is to get the foundation right first before you even start using the software. The apprentices get taught on every single strategy for the software and the ASBs. So we are taking those recordings and putting them into modules. Okay, so the cost for each module is $999. So it's based on that 30,000 apprenticeship. You can complete the modules at your own pace as well. So starting with the mandatory essential module. You've got to do that before you open up anything else, before you unlock those strategies for confluence and all that sort of stuff. We do have, and if what will happen is if Gary can put the link into the flip book for the Academy into the chat, that would be really good. So instead of me doing those live sessions to reduce the cost, all of those live sessions that I've done and recorded with these different groups, we've chosen 2 or 3 of those and we've put those in as well, because they're asking the questions you're going to ask. And I've answered those questions and we've gone through and given those homeworks. And then what will happen is in each module, so the first module includes a certain amount of software, and then second breakout module, and then there's a Slingshot module. It's proper educational training modules, it's homework. And then we give, for example, on each ASB module, there's a 25% lifetime discount on the annual lease. So the annual lease is currently $3,000 a year. You take that $999 module on one of the ASBs, you will get $500 off that a year every time you renew. So we're not giving you it for life like we do for $30,000. What we're trying to do is give you good incentive, good value for money. You're getting the training and you're getting some discount as well in there. So the essential module has to be done first. So I had a one-to-one session with an apprentice today to help set up his Ninja Trader. He's totally new to trading. And he was asking me when he's going to get the software. He's on week 5. He's not got the software yet. Okay. So the first bit of software that we go into that initial essential module is the bias depth heat map, the Guardian Zones, and the manager. And again, with that 999 module, there's 25% discount on those items. But there's a lot in there. This is very, very important. If you want to start your trading journey properly, this is the essential module. So even things like Fibonacci trading, fib extensions, volume and price action, the markets, economic data, correlations, behavior, futures trading, and then the manager, the proper tutorial on manager, the practice and live sessions on the manager, on the bias depth heat map, and a lot more education in there. So the idea is to get that good grounding, because without understanding all of the behavior, it's very difficult to do the other training for the other software. So, and I'll give you an analogy. Okay, so one guy that's been trading for a while came on the apprenticeship, and previous to this, he dug himself a hole trading, and a lot of people do that. I would say 90% of people dig themselves a hole. And, within weeks of coming on there, you can understand that he's missed a lot out. That self-taught, that YouTube thing, and trying to get that knowledge to try and trade, you miss a lot out. And this is what this essential module's for. So the analogy I gave was, imagine trading being like a pilot. And most people that are self-taught, done a couple of free classes, watched a lot of YouTube videos, and think they've got it, are crop duster pilots. Okay, crop duster pilots with those really big rubber tires on. So if you crash, it bounces and you can carry on and all that sort of thing. If you get the right training, you become a fighter pilot. But to get from crop duster to fighter pilot, you have to do a lot of simulation. You have to do a lot of practice. You have to get that muscle memory working properly. You have to understand that foundational approach to understand everything as it all starts to unfold. Did this guy know that it's been trading US dollar for a while? Did he know that copper led 6E, which is the euro? Okay, it leads it on so many occasions, it's no coincidence. Okay, so those correlations, what are the reactions to economic data? Are those tradable? how does volume and price action differ at certain times of the day? There's lots and lots that you need to understand and learn, and you need to be taken through that properly. And then when you get to each module for your range breakout, for example, roller coaster, the xBrat algo, Elliott wave, Slingshot, VWAP Predator, and then finally the confluence module, you will only be able to unlock that when you've done all of the others, because that shows you how to combine them together to get that confluence strategy. So when I talk about confluence strategy, I'm talking about two or three of these all together when you've actually optimized on different charts on different time frames that are all giving signals all at the same time. You can't ignore them. All the bias is there. You've got a roller coaster, then you've got a slingshot, and then all of a sudden you've got a VWAP predator signal. The momentum is going, and building that confluence module is very, very important there. So the idea is that you go through this module, you learn and you practice and you learn and you send your homework in. I mark that homework, and then what I'm going to try and do is do one sort of collective live session where I can answer questions for those people on those different modules, once a month and that sort of thing. But all of those live sessions that I've done with our cohorts are all included. They're all recorded and all there. So Gary's put the flipbook link into the strategy, into the thing there. So when you open that up there, you will see all of the academy. You can join the academy there, do that, the first module, and then it tells you everything in there about every single module, what's covered, and what's included in there. So very, very powerful. But what I was conscious of is that yes, I do 3 or 4 people in each cohort. This year there's been 3 cohorts, but $30,000 is not approachable. So how can I make it more affordable? And where I'm not actually giving up a lot of my time to so the apprentices pay for my time. So now we have this modular format, which is more affordable. They've got a great learning management system there online. And it's with the guys, and I want to thank Gary and his team putting all of this together. It looks fantastic. We're getting people to start to go through on this now. And it's really a great opportunity for people to tap into my sort of 25, 30 years experience. And the way I've developed this is I've been running the apprenticeship now for 3 years, and quite a few people have gone through that and they're successful. The idea now is that we make it attainable for lots more people. Because we've got all that collateral, we've got all that recording, we've got all that training, even the homework, all that sort of thing. It's in there. Let's use it and make it achievable for a lot more people. So does anybody have any questions on the Academy, or indeed the VWAP Predator ASB? I've got 10 minutes to take questions. My timing is perfect today. Usually I run out of time. Any questions in the chat? Come on. Yes, in the academy, you can rerun the lessons as much as you want. Okay. Once you've unlocked a module, it's your module. You can just keep going back over it, Christine. You can really, take your time It doesn't matter if that module takes you 2 months. You just need to crack. You need to crack it. You need to understand it, and then you move on to the next one. And if that takes you 3 months, that's fine. It's there. It doesn't get switched off. It's yours. Okay. No problem. Any more questions? Come on, guys. You got to have questions. Can't be traders without questions. No one's asked me to put this on NQ. I don't know if it'll load up. Let's just switch the strategy off a second. Okay. Okay, so that's a good question, Christine. Why do you take the VWAP Predator for more contracts? Why not take more than one contract when the account is bigger? So on a lot of the ASB moves, we get that initial move and it comes back to break even. What we don't want to be doing, or we get losses. So if we've got an 85% win rate, we are going to have larger drawdowns. The idea with the VWAP Predator is once momentum starts to go and we're getting those VWAP Predator signals, that's a higher probability that we're going to, by adding more contracts, we're going to make more money. If we start off right at the bottom and we actually fail to move that much, there's no momentum, we're not risking much by having one contract. If we are allowed to go up to 7 contracts, why put all of those at risk right at the start when that steam train's trying to get away from that station? Why not, when it's got some momentum, at the next station as it's flying through, jump another one on? Okay. So when we look at the roller coaster, for example, when we look at the strategy performance here, this is just an example. It's a 73% win rate. So there are some losers in there, okay? And there are some break-evens. There's quite a lot of break-evens in there. So let's just try and find an example. Probably won't be able to find one now. Okay, so in this situation here, a trader would think, actually, it's broken down below support. Yeah, it's come back up. Almost tested it, got a short, I'm going to put 5 contracts on, and it fails, okay? There is no 100% win rate, okay? It just doesn't work. Now, why would you risk those 7 contracts there? Instead, always start with 1, okay? For example, these 2 trades here, start with 1. Momentum didn't build in here. Momentum started to build here. You add more contracts when momentum starts to build coming down. I don't know where it is because I haven't got the VWAP Predator's not on here, but the idea is when you get the bigger move and the momentum comes, you can add more contracts. Don't take the risk at the beginning. Does that make sense? You're welcome. So again, this was the trade today where this was a good trade, but, we added to it with the VWAP Predator as it went along because we get more confidence that the speed and the momentum is going. So we're using the VWAP Predator to add those more contracts because there's less risk to doing that. This is a strategy that I used quite a long time ago, but it was manual and there's a lot of work that had to be done. You had to think fast to add more contracts to that. You would always start small and build as you went along. So this is the inverse of what stocks traders do. When stocks traders scale into a position, they scale in as it's coming down, the price is getting lower, hoping that it'll hit a support and it'll go back up and their average holding position will be lower. This is totally the opposite way around. We're looking for momentum to build, and then we're adding more contracts as it builds. Yes, we started off small, but when that momentum starts going, it's like a snowball. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you just keep adding more to it, and that's turbo boosting those profits. So today I would have only made $548 on this particular move. In the end, it ended up at 1,222 because there was VWAP Predator involved, and it added 2 more contracts as it went along. Okay. But the risk, if I'd have started with 3 contracts and it went against me, is too high. Those drawdowns will be too big. Let me move that out of the way. Go back to NQ. Let's change that to NQ. I'm not a fan of NQ. You'll know that. I just wanted to see if the actual computer will load it up. It shouldn't be too busy a time now. We're 12:55 p.m. EST, so it should be okay. Let's let that load up first. Okay, that's loaded up. So we're going to have to give this a little bit more room because this moves fast. So let's go to the strategies. I've got to give this more room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that where it is. I'm going to put min and max risk at 0. I'm going to say I'm a big boy and I can go max position size 5. Stop loss update trigger with NQ is going to be more like 40 or 50 ticks. Take profit distance ticks 100. No, that's got to be more like 250. I'm just giving it big wide room to see if we can get something loaded up here. I don't want native timeframes on there, so let's just do that with the Guardian zones. Make sure. So no, I'm going to toggle them off. I'm just trying to switch stuff off. So show VWAP is off, show MA is off, and let's see if I can load that up. So all I've done, I've not optimized. What I've done is try to just broaden risk and stuff so we can and see how NQ actually performs. It'll take a while to calculate. So while it's calculating, any more questions on the VWAP Predator on the Academy? You haven't done it all, George, I can guarantee it. There's stuff in there you haven't done, okay? It's not just the manager and the heat map. Okay, so Christine, I'm only going to commit to doing HG. Why? Because I'm very, very busy, okay? And to re-optimize more than one instrument is a very, very long-winded and a long time. And it takes a lot of my weekend up. So I've dropped CL, and a good reason why I've dropped CL is what's happening in the Middle East right now. And I'm just going to concentrate on copper. The idea of me sharing those templates is so people can use them as a starting point and be able to learn themselves. Again, if they come on the Academy, wow. Okay, if they come on the Academy, they will go through those steps and learn as well, and be able to optimize those strategies as well. So, it's not just, I'd love to help everybody. I'd love to do those optimizations. And to be honest, in 2 years' time, we'll have AI doing the optimizations anyway, because the young guys started to work for me now. and he's going through the apprenticeship course at the moment in half the time that it should do, so he can understand each strategy. And then he's going to go through the logic, and then he's going to go through the ASBs. He's go through a 6-month optimization manually with me. Then he's going to do it on his own for 6 months, and then he's going to start to build a machine that actually does it all. Okay, but I physically can't do it because it takes too long with all these strategies to optimize lots of different instruments. That is ringing amazing, that is, isn't it? That move. 2 contracts there. Really, really good. So let's have a look at this. And this is a not even idea where $35,000. I'd be interested to see with no optimization. Look at that max drawdown with no optimization, $9,900 with a $35,000 net profit still. This is the problem. Look, too many trades with NASDAQ, even on this slower time frame. Just go to the analysis. I want to see if there's clusters of winners that would be helpful. Probably I would only trade from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. There are some other clusters in here, but NQ's not that great during European morning and Asian, so I would just do it then. So let me just do, I'm just going to optimize that for 9 until 11:05. So let me just do it. It didn't take that long to load up. You see how it didn't take that long because we reduced what you need to do, what you need to see, because you don't need to see it because an algorithm's doing it anyway. So let's just put that in for those daily. This is just playing. I'm never going to trade NQ. All days. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'm going to do it at 11:05. Let's apply that, and let's enable that. It's calculating. It's still calculating. So just to reiterate while that's loading, the essential module is there's a lot in there about economic data. There's a lot in there, the volume and the price action and behavior. It's about picking your instrument. It's about understanding that behavior around economic data, the correlations, how to set those correlations up on NinjaTrader, for example, and how it all ties together. I'm not confident in allowing any of these other ones to be unlocked until that's done, okay? Because there are snippets in there. This one guy, basically, on week 5 of the apprenticeship, has had an epiphany because of the work he's done on economic data and correlation, something he didn't even consider before, okay? This is how important it is. So what does this strategy performance look like on NQ now before I go? It still needs some work, but $27,000. The max drawdown's gone down to 6,000. Percentage profitable's gone up a little bit. We got the right clusters now. We got good clusters. Is there a day of the week it's not good? It's not good Friday or Thursday. Okay, so we'd only trade that on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, for example, this particular strategy, which is very, very cool. And then there's other things that we would look at with risk and all the other optimization factors and everything. That's just a bit of fun. But ZS interests me. I would like to do some more optimization and have a look at ZS. That really does. I used to trade ZN as a side, not a side hustle, because there's not that many trades on ZN. But when they are, I think when the momentum goes with bonds, there's really good trades. So ZN could be a good, good for the arsenal there. There's a lot of winning trades there. I've not even optimized this yet on the VWAP Predator, and we are getting a 76% win rate. Okay. This is what I mean by not many trades. There's only 25 trades in 90 days. Yeah, average winning trade 175, average losing trade 119. Again, this is only optimized for maximum 3. I think, the thing what I'm going to do is those that get that personal invite and come on board, I'm actually going to do the training for this with those people. So I'm going to try and formulate the training for the VWAP Predator ASB with those people. I'm going to go through those optimization classes together. So do look out for those emails. That's all covered in the live sessions. The record, and again, it will allow you to add different instruments to your chart to trial and try and find those particular instruments with the correlations. And that's all covered in the not just in the modular pre-recorded sessions, but also in the recorded live sessions. I say that because I know I've just did it this week and it was recorded. I'll be doing one on each, George. I'll be doing so these are the ones that I'm really happy with. I've been running them 2 weeks and they're quite profitable. I've been doing one range breakout, one slingshot, one roller coaster, one xBrat algo, one VWAP Predator. There'll be 2 ZDP zone traded pros purely because one of them is just reversals and one of them is the work through. So I'll be doing those. And remember, these are one contract, except for the VWAP Predator, it'll be a 2 contract one. But all I'm doing is sharing the ones I'm running on this small account. Okay. The idea is then starting next week, I'm going to do some live sessions on Teams to show people how to take that 1 contract version and how to make it a multiple contract version. Okay. For those that are, especially those that are on the funded trader programs that can have more contracts. Okay. So that's what I'm going to share. Yeah. I'm not going to do 2 or 3 slingshots. I was finding that I was doing 6, 7 hours on a Saturday. Yeah. And then loading them up and everything like that on a Sunday. I do need a life. Okay. So I'm only going to trade copper on this small account. What I'm trading on my other accounts is no concern of anybody else's. That is my living. Yeah, this is to prove that this happens, and it can, from 12 to $15,696 since middle of June. That's a good return, percentage wise. Yeah, might not be, might be only $3,696. It's not a lot of money, but percentage terms on the starting balance is very, very good. And I want to continue to build that just by using the ASBs. And I'm only going to use one of each. Okay. And that's what I'm going to be sharing. Okay, right, guys, I'm going to have to go. It's 10 past 10 in the evening. I need to go to bed. And I will catch you all in December for our very last one. I've got to check the dates for that because my grandson is over for his birthday. But I think it should be okay for the one in. Okay, thank you, Peter. Thanks everybody for coming today. I know it's for you guys in the US, it's in the middle of the day, so great effort for coming in. Thank you. Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Mal. Take care. Thank you, Christine. Sophia is gorgeous. I can't wait to get back to England for Christmas and spend more time. Okay, guys, let's get this finished up.